welcome to this special edition of Yankee Chronicle. We have a great series of segments coming up. We're reporting from the New London Inn, of course, as you can probably tell. Just beautiful. And a great interview today with Alison Mastin. She is the new chair of the Kearsarge Regional School Board. We'll find out what's coming up for the upcoming year, a little bit about Alison Mastin's history and what we can expect. But first, a word from our underwriters.
NCTV programs are underwritten in part by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oil, Propane, and Motor Fuels, with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of energy systems, as well as air conditioning and water conditioning. Their friendly, highly trained, and certified staff is available to assist you throughout the process. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer in New London since 1997, and much further back as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. LaValle Building Supply, serving homeowners and contractors since 1962. Whether you're an experienced builder or simply a do-it-yourselfer, you'll find what you need at LaValle Building Supply. Barton Insurance Agency provides local access to all your business and personal insurance needs, from auto, home, life, to business liability and related needs. Experience the hometown difference of Barton Insurance Agency. Baba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, for great land fare, seafood, sandwiches, and Baba's award-winning chowder. You won't be disappointed. They're having a lot of fun at Baba's Bar and Grill. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown newspaper covering the Kearsarge, Sunapee, and Sunshine region of New Hampshire. Online and in print, the Innertown Record. Main Street Bookends in Warner, an independent bookstore providing books, toys, games, cards, and gifts. With a gallery showcasing local arts and artists, Main Street Bookends in Warner. And North Cape Design Build. Thank all our underwriters for making your local programming possible on NCTV.
Well, welcome back. I'm glad you decided to join us today. We have a very special interview here from the New London Inn, such a great setting. We're speaking with the new chair of the KRSG School Board. It is Alison Mastin. Hi, Alison.
Hi, Laura. It's so great to be here.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Anytime.
Yeah, this is a busy time of year, isn't it?
It's a really busy time of year, but it's also a really exciting time of year.
It really is. In fact, we were just speaking off camera about a retreat you just had to talk about the new year.
Yeah, we normally have a board retreat every summer at the beginning of June, where we go over board goals, school district goals, strategic plan, how we did that year, and we talk about the next year, things we want to discuss for later years. This year we had a little different type of retreat. We wanted to have a retreat based on our new superintendent and his expectations for the board and his expectations for us, as he is our only employee. And so we didn't really talk about board goals or anything like that. It was just a nice get-to-know-you conversation with John, and he went over some important things that the school board needs to pay attention to, such as chain of command, who do you talk to when, and just kind of the way he wants things to work out.
Just introducing yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're referring to John Fortney. He's the new superintendent of schools, and we did a very nice long interview with him a week or two ago. He seems wonderful.
He is wonderful. I had the fortune of being able to interview him and to make the phone call to hire him. And when I called him, I said, "Hi, John, this is Alison Mastin. I want to offer you the job." And he said, "What? What?" I said, "We really want to offer you the job." And he said, "Oh my God, my whole body's going tingly right now. Are you serious? I am so excited."
He's very honest.
He's so honest, and it's so great. And one of the greatest things is that we were able to hire him in November. So he's actually been part of the district, kind of on the sidelines, for 7 months. And he's done his job learning what's happening and really already has a great handle on things. So that's been really nice. You don't normally get that kind of relationship with somebody 7 months before they begin
That's
their
right.
job.
Exactly.
But we're really excited. He's amazing, and I think he said something in his interview with you that really stuck with me the most. You asked him if this was a rebuilding year.
Sure.
And his answer was, it's not a rebuilding year, it's a reloading year, which makes total sense because he's not trying to undo the legacy of Jerry
Right.
Fruh or Winfred Finneberg.
Right.
He's just trying to come in where we are and move forward and make things better. But he's a great guy. We're really excited.
He really is, and he seemed to be very interested in the history.
Very.
And finding out a lot about, really where we came from as he decides to move forward.
Yes, he did a lot of research. I mean, he did a lot of research before we even interviewed him, but he knows a lot about Kearsarge. He's really tried to get to know everyone in the community, all the important stakeholders. He's been showing up at a lot of things. He just wants to be part of the community. He loves the community, and that is.
And I love that he lives here in the Kearsarge Regional School District, and he understands that there are differences in the towns and the makeup and how he's going to approach different things in different schools.
He does. He very much understands that, and it's so important in this area, in this community, to understand that because it's a really important part of
So diverse.
how the district works.
Right. I often think it's one of the biggest geographic districts, not population-wise, but boy, do we take up a lot of room in the state.
We
Don't
do. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, geographical district, I think, in the state. I mean, our buses travel, if you took all the bus routes together and you put them in a straight line, they'd go out to Colorado and back in one day.
No, stop it. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
That's an amazing statistic. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Do you have a lot of people behind the scenes making these stats up
Well,
for
when
you?
we had, I should say not this year, but when we had full amount of bus routes and bus drivers, that was the case. But yeah, they just travel an enormous amount of miles.
Oh, that's amazing. That really is. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about this in different segments. And, I want to hear coming up more about your history. Full disclosure, Alison and I served together on the school board for many years, right? And as when I was teaching. And it is such a positive environment.
It is a very positive environment, and it's the people have turned over a little bit, but the way that the board works with the administration, no matter who the administration has been, it's so positive. And we have people tell us all the time, lawyers or different people who come work with us, that we are so lucky and that this relationship that we have with our administration is not common.
Is very fortunate. We'll talk more about that and also what's coming up for the new year. A little bit about your history too. We're grateful for your service with this. All coming up right here. Stay with us.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. We are right here at the New London Inn. I love being here. I really do. And we're speaking with Alison Mastin, who is the new chair of the Kearsarge Regional School District School Board. Alison, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I love talking with you, Laura. Laura and I have known each other for at least 15 years, if not longer.
I think longer than that.
So it's fun to talk to.
Yes, it really is. My children are in their 30s, so that gives you some perspective.
Okay.
It's
More
been a
than
long,
15 years.
yeah, a couple decades at least, right? Exactly. And your children, I can't believe they've graduated out of the Kearsarge School District.
They have.
So it's amazing how time
goes
has
really
passed.
fast. But everyone asks me why I'm still doing the school board, and I don't have any kids in the district. And it doesn't matter to me that I don't have kids in the district, because I think the school district is important to the whole community, and I love it, and I love the job that I've been doing. And so I have had kids go through, so I understand how things work.
Right.
I've had that
And the
experience.
importance of it.
And the importance of the district to the community, because people move here for the school district, and the school is really a center of a town.
It always has been, yes.
And we're building the next generation of the community, really.
Right, of community members. And I want to talk more about your history, which we are so grateful for. So grateful you're here. And you're really leading into what I wanted to talk about in this segment is Why a school board? What is it? Who makes it up? And why is it important to have a school board as you navigate the waters, educational waters?
Sure. So the school board is made up of a representative from each of the 7 towns in our district,
Okay.
although New London and Warner each have 2 representatives based on the number of their population in town. So there's 9 of us total, and we meet every other week, Thursday nights at 6:30. And the school board's goal really is to set policy for the district and to make decisions on the budget. And our one employee is the superintendent.
Just one. So
That is
really,
our
you have
only
just one
employee.
employee.
Correct. And through the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, even though he directly oversees that person. But those are the 2 employees that we work with directly.
And that's nice because it gives, the leadership team autonomy, doesn't it? Really?
It does. It does. And it takes the school board out of personnel issues, complaints. I mean, people bring complaints, but we pass them directly on. We don't try to answer them ourselves. Really, the school board is only a school board when we're in an actual official school board meeting with all of the members present.
Okay, and that makes sense. So you have 9 members, 2 from Warner and New London, and every other town has 1 representative.
Correct.
So now, I've been at a lot of school board meetings. They start at 6:30 on Thursday nights, but there's a new component. You can now Zoom into them?
Yes, so during COVID, we had to start using Zoom, and so we've just kept that because there's a lot of people who cannot attend on a weekday night at 6:30, and we really want as many people to be part of the meeting as possible, so people can Zoom in still regularly, or they can come in person.
Now, and coming in person is really valuable because it gives you a chance to see and hear, and via Zoom too, what's happening, not just at the deliberative session, which is very important and significant, but you can really see the workings of the district, on a biweekly basis.
Yes, I mean, the school board meeting, we don't get a lot of people. I wish we would because we're not always talking about things that are super exciting or very controversial, but we're talking about the policies and the way the district is run. And people don't know that if they're not part of something such as a search committee or they don't come to board meetings. And it's really important to understand how the district works so that you can understand what's happening. And it really reduces people's anxiety, their questions. And we also really want the community to be involved. I love when there's a lot of people there. And even if they don't say anything, they're just listening because they really understand the way that we're doing things. And it's just fun to have them as part of our meetings.
Community, exactly.
It's the board is serving the community.
That's right.
As the district is the community's school district.
And there is a time for public comment, right, in each meeting. So if I wanted to come and talk about, busing or talk about a new math course I wanted to introduce or something, if I hadn't contacted someone, we could speak about it then.
Yep. So there's 2. Actually, now we have new rules. There's 2 15-minute public comment sessions.
Oh, that's
in
new.
2 different parts of the meeting. Yep. And people have about 2 minutes to speak, and they just stand up and say their town and their name, and if they've written something, we do ask them to turn that in to the clerk so we can put it in the minutes. And it's not really a time for back and forth.
Sure.
And unfortunately, sometimes that's what they want, but the board meeting's not the place for that.
But it is an opportunity to have your voice heard.
Yes, so they can get up and speak what they want us to hear, and they'll get an answer later if necessary, or the board will take it into consideration.
That's wonderful. And coming up, we'll talk more about that important element of communication, and then find out more about you and your history and your service here on the Kearsarge Regional School District School Board. So stay with us, we'll be back.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
The Lake Sunapee region is one of the few communities in the country where you can ski year-round. During the summer season, the lake provides water skiing, fishing, swimming, and boating. During the winter, Mount Sunapee Resort, located at the south end of the lake, is one of the most popular ski and snowboard destinations in New Hampshire. The views of Lake Sunapee from the trails in Sun Bowl are spectacular. For more information about visiting our beautiful area, contact the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome back to this special edition of Yankee Chronicle. We're really glad you decided to join us. You know, the school year's starting, so we thought we'd spend some time talking with Alison Mastin, who is the new chair of the Kearsarge Regional School District School Board. That's so much to say.
It is.
Isn't it really?
Yes.
Really is. Well, you know, the last segment we were talking about communication, and it really seems like that's important to you.
Communication is extremely important because if people don't know what's going on, that causes a lot of problems, and it makes it hard for everybody to do their job. It's really important to be transparent and to communicate everything that we're doing all the time to as many people as possible.
And that is so much in line with the new superintendent. I think he must have said that 3 times in my interview with him, how important communication was.
Communication to him is very important. One of the differences and exciting things that he's planning is he's planning to start the day 3 days a week, I think he said, in different buildings around the district.
Good for him.
So he can see kids, he can meet the kids, he can meet the parents, he can just kind of be around. I don't know, some of the staff might get nervous, but he's not there to watch them. He just wants to meet people. He needs to meet everybody, as many people as possible, and really get a handle on what this 7 towns are about and each school is about.
Now, tell him the secret. The kindergarten classrooms have the most comfortable rockers.
Of course they do.
So when
I will tell him that.
A comfy pillow, a stuffed animal, and a good book with the children is a great way to start the day.
He's about the kids.
Yeah,
and that's really,
seems to
really
be.
important because that's what we're all here for.
Right, and there are so many serious issues that we face as a community, as a school district, and it's good to have someone who is positive.
Yes.
Now, speaking of which, so you've been on the board for a little while.
This is my
right?
15th year.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
But let me tell you, that's wonderful because we need that institutional history.
We do, and oftentimes board members do serve for quite a number of years.
Yes.
Because so a term is 3 years long.
Right.
And everyone's elected by their town. But it does take about at least 2, if not 3 terms, so about 6 years to
get your sea
really
legs,
feel
right?
like you know what's happening and how the budget works and what the policies are, and just kind of to get to know what it's like to be on the board and what your role is.
Absolutely, and it truly is a leadership role.
It's very much a leadership role.
It really is, because you really, you know, I don't use, it must be summertime, I'm using another, here we go, analogy, but you steer the ship.
Yeah.
You know, you're absolutely, you know, going in the direction you want to go, and you have always been a very positive person. So do you think that might be a part of your, you know, of your new tenure?
Yeah, I'm really hoping to keep the board in a positive direction. It's a good group of people. We all work really well together. It's really important that we keep a focus on our institutional history, and with Ken Bartholomew stepping off, and thank you, Ken, for his service. He
Ken
was amazing.
was amazing.
And he had a lot of institutional knowledge, and
he did.
And that's gone now. And we've had a couple people just prior to Ken, such as Emilio Conciobello and Andrew Pinard, who also finished their tenure. And so as I've stayed on and people have left, we've lost a little bit of institutional history. There's not that many people I've been on the board the longest, by probably 6 years at this point.
Right.
So people are building the institutional history that have come on, but it's just important to know the past.
It really is, and I think that also looking at it, I know it's a cliche, but with fresh eyes for the new members is wonderful. But it's important to know what initiatives have been, you know, tested and tried out in the past as well. And all those people you mentioned, they're just a phone call away, aren't they?
They are just a phone call
Isn't
away.
that
and
incredible?
They sometimes get phone calls.
Yes, that's right. Exactly, exactly. So, you know, we have both used this phrase many times, institutional history. What does that mean?
So to me, that really means experience in the district, and having been through projects such as the building of the middle school, which was 10 or 11 years ago now.
Yesterday
or,
to me, yes.
You know,
exactly.
negotiating specific teachers' contracts or hiring of new superintendents, just the different issues that come up in a district. And once you've gone through it, you understand it much better, and you kind of can carry that knowledge forward.
Perfect.
And it's just really important to have people who've been through that to keep the district running and going strong and remembering what's happened in the past.
That's very true. Well, I'll tell you, I think we could talk all day. We will be back with the final segment of our conversation with Alison Mastin. And I'm going to be talking about the future, of course, of Kearsarge Regional School District, and we'll get her perspective coming up. Stay with us.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street bookends of Warner.
Well, welcome back. This is the final segment of a really fun special today from the New London Inn, which I have so enjoyed. I'm trying to keep my focus on the interview without looking at all the beautiful surroundings. I am speaking with Alison Mastin, the chair of our school board. Alison, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so grateful. And you've given us some good insights. And in our last segment, I'd like to talk about the fact that we've been around a long time, right? And if we have been, so have the buildings. So what's going on with the future of the district, of our facilities? What can we expect?
So yes, that is key. The buildings have been around a very long time. All of them except for the middle school, which has still been around a long time in my terms.
Right.
So there's a lot of projects that need to be done, and some of them are going to be done now because we have to, such as some fixtures on the roof of the high school, the furnace at the high school, the boiler system. A lot of that stuff was not done since 1970. No one's renovated anything.
That's
and
a
it
long
has end of
time ago
life,
now,
and it
yes.
involves heating and safety and clean
Sure.
water and things like that. So what we've decided to do, since so many buildings are in that kind of state, is we hired an architect firm, and they are going to come in. They have come in and they've done sort of a site tour, and what they're doing is they're developing a plan for the district facilities as a whole, so that we can have one whole plan for everything we need to do in the entire district, and then have a strategy to tackle that, and how long
And then
and
you can
when,
prioritize
and prioritize what we need to do first. And it's really important. We've never done it like that before. We've sort of tackled things as they've come, and
Right.
we have different reserves and roof funds and things like that, but there's a lot of stuff that really is in need of repair, and we need to figure out a way to get that done.
That seems so significant and important.
It is huge. I think it's probably one of the most significant things that's going to go on this year, besides
Okay.
having a new superintendent.
Absolutely. Okay, so you have the facilities overhaul, basically, an assessment first, and then figuring out what to do when. That could be a number of years down the road, too.
It
right?
is. It will be a number of years down the road. There are things we are going to have to do now that are expensive, but we
Right.
just some things are end of life and we have to do it.
Okay, and communication is going to be important. How can I find out what's going on in the district if I'm at home, just wondering?
Right. So communication is important. I actually chair the communications committee.
Oh, there we go. I
So
didn't know
we
that.
meet monthly and we talk about how do we communicate effectively to the community, to the parents, to all the stakeholders, everybody who lives here, even people that don't have kids in school. And it's a challenge. We kind of go back and forth. Do we use social media? Do we send emails? Do we have open public forums? Do we just ask people to come to the school board meeting? And it really is a mixture of all of those things.
Okay.
Because people are at different various stages in their life and they use different
Forms of
forms to communicate.
right?
So we really try to
Exactly.
hit everything as much as we can. I do know that John Fortney, the new superintendent, would love to have more sort of forums and meeting people in person
Right.
and talking to them and informing them, but regular communication is also through the websites, through the
Gotcha.
district website, and each school has their own website, and people can always call and ask questions, and people at the SAU, John Fortney in particular, is happy to sit and talk to someone anytime.
That's wonderful. And just a reminder that as this chair of the school board, you have one employee. So if someone has an issue, they can come to you, but you will pass that information along.
Correct. If someone has an
Gotcha.
issue or they have a question, if they have a question that I can answer,
Right.
that I will answer it.
Sure.
But if they have something that has to do with anything other than what the school board deals with, like such as personnel or a problem with their child, I do pass that on, and sometimes I refer people to go back to the principal
Right.
or the superintendent. As a board member, we just, there's
You
only
have to
certain
do
things
that
we can
because
do.
there's only so much too, because the schools do have that autonomy and their
do.
unique culture. Right?
They do.
and unique
They do.
makeup. I know it's a little happy talk, but this is the most important question. What do you wish for the students coming up this year in 2024, 2025?
It's not going to be a very technical, complicated answer.
That's
I really want the students to have fun in school and to enjoy going to school every day. And you don't have to be a straight A student, you don't have to be a star athlete, but just enjoy being with other people and enjoy learning. And we've got to figure out a way to get kids to enjoy learning. I used to love going to school. I didn't even want to miss
Yes.
school when I was sick.
Right.
I went anyways because I just loved it, and we need to get back to that.
As I asked that question, I saw the light come on in your eyes, and that's wonderful. And that's really why we live in this district.
It is why we live
It
in this
really
district,
is.
and
So-
it is why we have a school district.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for taking the time today. I'm so excited about the new school year. We have to go school shopping for new clothes.
That's right, and thank you for interviewing me. And yes, it's super exciting.
It really is. Alison Mastin, the new chair of the Kearsarge Regional School District School Board. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Laura.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Well, coming up in the next 2 weeks, we'll be revisiting and just spending more time with some interviews we did with Superintendent Fortney, our new superintendent of schools, and also Superintendent Finnenberg, who served us for many years here in the Kearsarge Regional School District.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
The Lake Sunapee region is one of the few communities in the country where you can ski year-round. During the summer season, the lake provides water skiing, fishing, swimming, and boating. During the winter, Mount Sunapee Resort, located at the south end of the lake, is one of the most popular ski and snowboard destinations in New Hampshire. The views of Lake Sunapee from the trails in Sun Bowl are spectacular.
Those of us who live, work, and play in the Lake Sunapee region know and love the joys that our natural resources provide. Through many generations, the beauty, the stillness, and the memorable family events have soothed our souls and refreshed our spirits. But now, it is clear that our lakes, ponds, and streams need our help.
LSPA is committed to preserving and enhancing the environmental integrity of the Lake Sunapee region, especially its lakes and watersheds, despite the many challenges that lie ahead. Through education, research, and collaborative action, we can work together to avoid declining water quality and environmental degradation. We've created a public awareness campaign called Let's Be Clear to arm you with the facts so that each of us can choose actions that protect the lakes we love.
So, you might ask, what exactly is it that individuals can do? Here are a few suggestions. Eliminate the use of fertilizer, or choose phosphorus-free fertilizer and don't apply it within 100 feet of water. Use non-toxic methods to control pests and weeds. Pick up and properly dispose of pet waste. Maintain your septic system by having it pumped and routinely inspected.